Hey internet, it's Nixie. You probably know this already because chances are if you're watching this video anytime in the near future, you are already a friend of mine. If you're not somebody I already know, hello, welcome, nice to meet you. I did start trying to vlog some time ago and maybe got a little in over my head and then lost track of it and stopped doing it. But I've always been kind of fascinated with the platform of YouTube video, talking about stuff, and so in the realm of what I think is important in life, I would like to share myself with the world on a new level, and frankly, I should probably get used to talking to a camera before I really dive all the way into it. So, a lot of people who are on my Facebook friends list or talk to me in real life or are on my Snapchat probably know that the last little while has been pretty rough for me. Not that it hasn't been rough on other people too, because I know that it has. It absolutely has. But there's been a lot going on. I don't even know where to start exactly. I was working a job that had a lot of promise and I was really excited about, but it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And turns out when you're depressed and kind of like afraid of the end of the world, that selling life insurance is probably not the greatest idea. When you're like super compassionate towards people and you have to like sit down and tell them how badly they're gonna get fucked over when someone they love dies, or how someone they love is gonna get fucked over when they die, it's not fun. And it was somewhere that I saw myself creating a lot of good change. Maybe not really, because like it's not an immediate, anyways, it was this whole thing and it was super outside of my comfort zone and was putting me under a lot of stress. I wasn't getting paid because it's commission based, and it was, everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. And it was really rough, and I stuck it out for a while because I was in a long distance relationship with an amazing guy, and it seemed like the only solution to making that work, in regards to me being able to go see him as often as I wanted to see him, being able to take time off, etc., etc. And the stress that I was under because I worked that job, I feel, is a big part of what ended that relationship. It wasn't an isolated incident that, I mean, there was something that I'll get to later that I think was kind of maybe like the final straw or whatever. But just being such a anxious, high maintenance type person to begin with, and then I was dating someone who was very self-sufficient, very introverted. When he was stressed out, he didn't want to talk about it, whereas when I was stressed out, all I wanted was for him to be there talking to me, and he was amazing at that. But just two very different people trying to make this really difficult long distance relationship work. And so he broke it off, and I don't want to say that there's no hard feelings, because you know there's still some resentment on my end. It's been 3 months and we haven't spoken, and I can understand from his perspective why he hasn't responded to any of my messages. I don't blame him at all, but it is really upsetting. So yeah, that was 3 months ago, and I'm still a basket case over it. But the thing is that I was already coming to a place in my life where I was getting so tired. I've always been that like eternal optimist type, seeing the best in people and seeking out the best in people, wanting to believe the best of them, and always devil's advocate. If someone does something crappy, like if someone cuts me off in traffic, the first thought is always like, screw you. But then it's like, well, but maybe they're in a huge rush and they're late for work, and okay, they just cut me off, and maybe they have a voice in the back of their head like I do saying like, that was shitty, you shouldn't have done that to that poor person, but it happened. I've always been that optimistic person, and I feel like what's going on in this world is so messed up right now. And I was in the United States for 2 weeks in August watching the news and seeing like Donald Trump, and it's all just so messed up, and it's hard to fight for that when it feels like everyone else has given up. But here's this person that was amazing and supportive and encouraged me to always be that, and believed that that's who I am, who I could be, is this optimistic, sunshiny person. He saw the good in me. And one of my biggest fears, like since I was a kid, maybe not since I was a kid, but like maybe since I was a kid, is dying alone. Is there like being like apocalypse and like meteors raining down and like, God smite and nuclear wars and all this stuff happening, and then like, 10,000 years down the road they excavate my neighborhood and find my house and I'm just by myself in my bed, like that's been one of my biggest fears since I was like, for as long as I can remember. Like I never thought I was going to reach 21 because either I was going to do something stupid and end my own life, or that there was going to be some sort of something on 2012, because nothing is permanent and the world is going to end eventually, right? Like why wouldn't it be 2012? Like, yeah, okay, it didn't happen, and like the chances of it happening during my lifetime are pretty slim, but why not? Why wouldn't it be during my lifetime? So it's been this like terrifying thing for my entire life. And that straw that broke the camel's back, I think, was me asking him that if Donald Trump caused a nuclear war, if he would move to Canada to be with me. And he was like, what the fuck? So I don't regret asking that question. I maybe wouldn't have if I had known that would have kind of been the catalyst for him dumping me, but whatever, what can you do? So here we are 3 months later, and I'm, wearing a onesie that, I've probably been wearing it for 2 days. I did wear it and then like take it off, get dressed into real clothes, and then like put it back on. So I don't know. I'm a mess. That's the honest truth of it. Because I feel like after thinking and believing for so long that, love can do anything, love can overcome anything, and anything is possible, you just have to believe in it. And then after taking a few months of getting used to the idea of believing that Michael would be there for me, that he wasn't going to just dump me if I had a panic attack and said something stupid or whatnot, believing, like went down to see him, believing that I was coming back. I left my longboard at his house because I was like, I am coming back here and I'm going to get my stuff. And reaching that point of like absolute belief that this is going to work, we're going to make this work. He's in it just as much as I am, because he said over and over again that he was in it and that we were going to make it work. So to put all that faith into that and then to have it not work out and to have the person that means the most to me back out is just devastating. It's devastating. It feels like every other time that someone's abandoned me, and I've had friends like abandon the shit out of me since, and people that disappear and I don't know why, and I reach out and there's nothing in return, and I just, I'm trying. I'm trying so hard. But they're gone. And so it feels a lot like I've lost everything that I've ever believed in. And it's really hard. It's really hard. And, a lot of people probably watch this and be like, oh, you got dumped, plenty of fish in the sea, get over it, blah, blah, blah. You're a whole person on your own and you don't need a man, and look at how much you've done on your own, and all that good shit. I mean, it's all good shit and it's real and I get it, but when I look at my life, so much of it has led up to that moment when I met him. So much of it. And I'm a hopeless romantic. I resented that in myself for a really long time. A really long time. I came from a divorced house, and it's all I really knew. Yeah. So when I was younger, I was always I'm never gonna get married, and who needs men? They're awful. But I came to terms with the fact that I'm a hopeless romantic, and that, yeah, that's what I want. I want my person, and to be found someday mummified, wrapped in his arms. Sorry, that's what I want. And it's just one loss after a long string of them that just broke me. But it's not all bad. Speaking of which, hi, come here. The last day that I spoke to him, actually, I bought this sweet little guy. This is Star, and he's mad at me for picking him up. Don't jump. Just chill. He kind of resents it when I pick him up, but he does love me a lot. He has purple eyes. Oh, see, give me a kiss. Baby, don't be so camera shy. Okay. So I bought Star, and he's the love of my life. I love him so much, and he makes some things really difficult. Right now, I see a poop on my pillow, and I'm livid. But when he snuggles me and falls asleep next to me, it makes everything so much better. And the other thing is, and this started before he broke up with me, I started going to the doctor. I started trying to get help for my mental health, because it's been a problem for as long as I can remember. So I've been medicated now for a while, and it's not necessarily helping, but it's not making things worse. My friend brought me to the hospital, tried to check me into the psych ward. They turned me away. And I was seeing, there's a emergency services team that was coming out to see me twice a week for about a month and a half, to kind of check in with me, make sure I was okay, etc., etc. I've been straight edge for 4 years, but I have been drinking. Not excessively, not consistently, but for the first couple of weeks it was pretty bad, and then I've had some issues of self-harm. I've fought it. I've felt suicidal. I've fought it, and I have sought help, but it's at the point now where, it's 3 months of this, more than 3 months, because I was super depressed, suicidal, anxious before he broke up with me, and then he broke up with me, and it was the end of the world, even though it's not the end of the world, but it feels like it in that situation. And it feels like you can only ask for help for so long. And it feels like people will only understand for so long. And people will only have patience for so long. So now I'm at the point where I've just been isolating myself, which is not helpful either. Let's be honest, it's not helpful to isolate like that. But, you know, I have been trying to seek out help, and it's very difficult. I have been diagnosed with general anxiety disorder and borderline personality disorder. It's still kind of in the works because it's not been like officially diagnosed. It's been a process and it's kind of there, but you know, I haven't had like a psychiatrist tell me that that's what it is. You know, my doctor and healthcare professionals, but not like the person that my doctor will say like, yup, you have it. But having that sort of diagnosis to be able to seek out information myself, mostly in the form of Facebook groups, has been helpful, and I have learned a lot. Like, you know, I always just thought that I had poor self-control, but it turns out that impulse control is a borderline personality disorder symptom. Never, ever would have thought in a million years that my inability to control certain impulses was because I'm mentally unwell. It just always seemed like another thing I hated about myself. Like, I crave ice cream, and then I go and I buy ice cream, and then I just can't stop myself from eating it. But it's actually because I have borderline, which is just mind-blowing. So having that diagnosis, even though it hasn't been like 100% been confirmed, I've done a test and looked it over with someone and then talked to my doctor about it. But, you know, disclaimers, it's not self-diagnosed. It's like in this gray area. But that has been really helpful to understand like my reactions to being dumped and other things have happened in my life, and it's just a lot. And hopefully in the future I can do better videos that are more concise and you know, more on point with certain topics. I'll talk more about the borderline, about falling off the straight edge wagon. I'll talk about these things if people want to hear it. But right now what I'm doing is I'm going to Vancouver for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I'm going to be couch surfing. I'm going to be staying with a bunch of friends. I'm probably, hopefully, going to go to Victoria for a few days to go see a couple other friends. I'm going to go see one of my favorite bands since I was like 13 or 14, Reliant K. They're playing with Switchfoot, and I'm really excited. I've never seen them before, so it'll be new and exciting, and I'm stoked for that at least. And I am excited to see all my other friends in Vancouver, though I am very nervous because, as I said, I've been in like extreme isolation, like extreme. There have been literally like a week at a time where I won't leave my house, and I'll go several days in a row without seeing anyone that lives in my house because I've been sleeping 12 hours during the day, sometimes more, and then I'm awake at night. So I don't see my housemates. So going to Vancouver, it's going to be 2 weeks staying on people's couches, not having my own space to hide. I'm not going to have my precious little loaf to snuggle with at night. And I'm going to be in this city that, honestly, the last time I was in Vancouver, like, I got blackmailed. And it was just, I got stuck there, and it was just such a nightmare the last time I was in Vancouver. So I'm scared shitless to go to Vancouver. But I'm hoping that by forcing myself out of my comfort zone and being with people that I know care about me and that have been so amazingly compassionate about like their interest in like making sure that I'm fine while I'm there and making sure that I'm fed and taken care of and that I have everything that I need. Is like, I'm so grateful that I have these friends that are just like spread out all over the place, that I can do that, because I know that that's not an opportunity that most people have. And I used to love just like being in a place I didn't know and wandering around by myself listening to music. So I'm really hoping that doing that will be able to like breathe a little life back into me, because I feel really dead. I struggle to care about anything or to do anything. I leave on Wednesday morning and I haven't packed. I haven't cleaned my house. Nothing. I've decorated my synthetic dreads that my friend's gonna put in for me tonight. That's it. So I'm hoping that forcing myself to do shit will make me more able to do shit. The other thing I really want to do is to do YouTube videos and do makeup videos. I've been trying to reflect on what are things that bring me joy or at least make me feel better. And honestly, like makeup, hair, nail design, these are like the things when I was in junior high and high school and I was skipping school. I was staying home and doing crazy makeup and doing crazy nails and dyeing my hair. I was the girl who had different hair every time you saw her. And like literally that's how that was my identifier, because I wasn't Nixie at the time. I had a different name and people would be like, oh, you know her? And they'd be like, what? The girl who always has different hair. Oh yeah, I know her. So I really wish I had capitalized on YouTube back then, because, you know, maybe I wouldn't be floundering in front of the camera right now and rambling. Maybe I would have like good editing programs and stuff and know what I was doing, but I don't. So I do want to do makeup videos. And one thing that I am scared shitless about doing makeup videos, because clearly there are so many people, it is such an oversaturated market as it is, that I feel foolish to even think about trying to get into the YouTube makeup industry, is that I don't always feel like I have something new to offer. I don't necessarily feel like I'm going to have tons of ideas all the time, and I'm really scared that I'm going to be like, it's time to do a weekly video, and I'm going to have nothing to talk about or to show. So if you have any ideas for things that I could do tutorials of or reviews of or whatever, post it in the comments. Please make me feel like this isn't just a waste of time. I'm gonna try and do it even if nobody does comment anything or share my videos or whatever, because hopefully this is gonna make me feel a little better. At the very least, it means I'm gonna be putting makeup on my face, which is good. But I'm gonna try, and we'll see what we can do, because as much as like I feel super bored and sick of my life right now, I do know that, like, you know, if I take a couple steps backwards and look at my life is pretty interesting when I'm, you know, cool, when I'm good, right? So I'm not good right now, but maybe just like being super open and vulnerable on the internet can help me get back to being cool. I don't know. I'm gonna do makeup videos. Speaking of makeup, I just want to talk about my lips. I really am in love with how this turned out. I used, this is MAC. I don't normally get MAC because, if you don't already know this, a lot of their products are manufactured in China, where animal testing is actually required. So I don't personally buy MAC products, but I had a friend give me some empties because they have like an empties program. So I got this for free. I didn't pay for it. It's called Really Me, and it's like a nude matte. This was my first ever nude lipstick I bought, and I really do like it. And then I put this one, the HD matte. I don't know if this will do the thing. I don't think my camera does the thing. But this is in Devotion, and I saw these ones at the drugstore. It's just Revlon, and I fell in love with one of the other colors and like had to buy it. Then they were on sale, so I bought this one too, and I really like these as well. But I mean, in the future I'll do actual reviews, but I just really love this lip look. So I'm gonna wrap this up I may or may not post a video of my dread install later. And then beyond that, I don't know what I will post while I'm in Vancouver, but this is me saying to you, this is my intention to post videos. So if you are interested in seeing what I have to say, hearing more about my story, what's going on with me, if you want to hear me rant at the camera some more, if you want to see me do certain makeup looks, or you have products you want me to test, let me know, comment down below. And yeah, it's been nice chatting with ya, invisible slice of the internet. Bye.